Culture can make a difference in determining how we think and how we behave. This is equally true in both our personal and work lives. Unfortunately, too many managers have ignored cross-cultural differences whilst working overseas, and as a result have missed significant opportunities for their companies and for themselves. The ancient Chinese Taoist philosopher Lao Tzu once observed that water is the last thing fish notices whilst using water as a metaphor for culture. That is, most people are so strongly immersed in their own culture that they often fail to see how it affects their patterns of thinking or their behaviour. They are too close to it. It is only when we are out of the water that we become aware of our own cultural biases and assumptions. The person I have chosen to interview is 30 years old. He has a Kenyan background and runs his own business in Nairobi. He has completed tertiary education in Australia, completing a bachelor's degree in accounting and master's in management. Hofstede defines culture as the collective programming of the mind that distinguishes the members of one human group from another, whereas cultural anthropologist Clyde Clockholm defined culture as the collection of beliefs, values, behaviour, customs, and attitudes that distinguish the people of one society from another. The Globe researchers have defined culture as shared motives, values, beliefs, identities, and interpretations or meanings of significant events that result from common experiences of members of collectives that are transmitted across generations. All three of these definitions are useful and share a great deal in common, but have very subtle differences. I will use Hofstede's cultural dimension model to analyse the Kenyan culture based on the questions I have asked in my interview. Starting with power distance, Kenya leads to a more hierarchical society. There is a strong emphasis on who is in charge in the workplace. From the interview, I found that employees do what they are told by senior management. They are reluctant to argue with the decisions made, even in scenarios where it would be considered to be inefficient to follow what is said by management. I believe that this would be the complete opposite in Australian society, as you would expect a more egalitarian view, where employees are expected to speak up, as this would result in the most efficient solution, as different viewpoints will be coming across. Kenya is considered to be a collective society. This is evident as there is a long-term commitment to member groups, be that a family, extended family, or extended relationships. Loyalty in a collective culture is paramount and overrides the most societal rules and regulations. The society also fosters strong relationships where everyone takes responsibility for fellow members of their group. Kenya would also be considered as a masculine society. Behaviour and schoolwork are based on values that people should strive to be the best they can be and that winner takes all. They are proud of their successes and achievements in life. I would assess Kenya as being a polychromic culture. Kenya is one of Africa's most rich nations and is seen as a business centre for East Africa. The chain of command shows a vital role in the business structure of Kenya. The reason for Kenya being a polychromic culture is due to their time schedule and timekeeping, which is of low importance to their society. People often arrive late when they're invited to people's houses. Also, another cause would be that most responsibilities are held instantaneously. Kenya can be seen as a more relationship-based society compared to a rules-based society. This is due to the flexibility in rules and laws. Corruption is a big issue in Kenya. You're able to pay government officials to effectively look the other way and allow for business activities to continue in a manner which does not agree with the rules and laws set out. You're also able to bribe police easily. So if you commit a crime, you can easily go unpunished. If you compare this with Australia, it would be the complete opposite, as there would be a low tolerance for rule breaking, and it would be very difficult to avoid punishment no matter the level of power you hold. What is often missed in these generalizations is that individuals within the same society may use different strategies to deal with identical challenges. As a result, it is often unwise to stereotype an entire culture from this. It needs to be noted that cultures are fragmented in a sense that they often allow for internal variations and even significant discrepancies in their midst. Despite people's tendency to stereotype, logic would tend to suggest that variation, sometimes significant, can be found in all cultures.